He's not supposed to be on the court.
To him. It don't
He's
matter.
not supposed to be on the court.
Giannis talked to him. Forget all that.
No, he was on the court.
So what?
You think he said something? He probably know who his dad is.
Stop it. Giannis said something.
No, because he's on the court in his face.
So what? Everybody on the court.
You can't do that.
Yeah, you can.
No, you cannot do that.
Giannis said something to him.
Giannis just flipped the whole script, raw, unfiltered, and straight from the chest. On live TV, he called out Shaq and Tyrese Haliburton's dad for one of the most outrageous out-of-pocket stunts ever pulled by a parent in NBA history. And Shaq, instead of keeping it a buck, he tried to defend that circus act like it was normal. It all started with a crushing championship loss, a towel, and a grown man storming the court like he was about to check in for overtime. But here's the jaw-dropper. Giannis said the words nobody else in the league dared to say. He flat out declared, Haliburton's dad crossed the line. Shaq still tried to twist it like Giannis was being too sensitive. The nerve. Let me paint the picture. Game 5, Bucks versus Pacers, final score, 119-118. Just 1.3 seconds left. Tension through the roof. Players exchanging handshakes, coaches barking last plays. Then out of nowhere, Tyrese's father, John Haliburton, bum rushes the hardwood like he's about to lace up.
It's a wrong question. There's no failure in sports. You know, there's good days, bad days. Some days you are able to be successful, some days you're not. Some days it's your turn, some days it's not your turn. And that's what sports is about. You don't always win. I'm not the guy that points his fingers because in my neighborhood, snitches get stitches. So I don't want to say something, you know, for him to say, to get fined or anything. But it's not respectful. I talk with him at the end.
And where's security? Nowhere. Dude walks right up to Giannis, who's fuming, hands on his hips, processing the heartbreak. And what does Pops do? He shoves a towel in Giannis's face. Not just any towel, a custom piece with Tyrese's photo printed all over it. And he's talking reckless, yelling, "This is what we do. This is what we foxing do." Who moves like that? Giannis was stunned. He even admitted, "At first I thought he was a fan." But once he realized it was Tyrese's dad, that disrespect cut deep. And don't think Giannis held back. He wanted to spill it all, but he knew if he unloaded, the league would be forced to step in. His words, "I don't want to drop all the details. I don't want to be a snitch." That wasn't just a comment. It was a warning. Giannis even added, "I come from the hood. If I really speak on what went down," that wasn't trash talk. That was code for lawsuits, headlines, and maybe even league bans. He kept it controlled, but make no mistake, the weight behind that statement was heavy. Something deeper than typical NBA beef went down. Now here's the part that set fans on fire. While most people blasted John Haliburton for acting like a wild superfan, Shaq hit inside the NBA and straight up defended him. Shaq brushed it off like John always be on the court and was just celebrating. Celebrating what exactly? A dad clowning an MVP after a heartbreaking loss?
I don't care. He's always on the court.
He should not be on the court talking to other players.
Bro, Giannis said something to him. He didn't say
came up
nothing
to
to Giannis. No, he did not.
No, that's not true. He couldn't have said
walking in
anything
the line
to
behind
him.
his son. No,
What do you mean walking in line behind his son? He shouldn't be on the court. He didn't play in the game.
Always on the court.
No, he shouldn't be.
And then Shaq made it worse. He called Giannis soft for being upset. He even said it was stupid for anyone to be offended by a dad wilding out. For real? That's when the internet lost it. Fans tore Shaq apart in the comments like never before. The backlash was brutal and the receipts were flying. Even Tyrese had to keep it real. He straight up told the media, "I don't think my pops was in the right at all there." No sugarcoating, no excuses. He even added, "He needs to let me play and stay in his seat. I'll come to him if we win." That's grown man energy right there. Tyrese didn't co-sign the nonsense. He just kept it 100. And the Pacers, they didn't waste a second. The team hit John Haliburton with a ban from all home and away games. And the craziest part? He accepted it without a fight. No meltdown, no scene. Just like that, he's locked out from seeing his own son hoop in person. That's how deep this mess cut. But wait, it gets messier. If you zoom in on the game footage, there's a blink and you'll miss it moment that had fans rewinding. Some swear Tyrese's mom might have actually swung at Giannis. Yup. The woman standing right behind John looked like she lightly tapped him in the middle of the chaos. That wasn't no pep squad clap either. Now, was it intentional? Nobody can say for sure, but let's be real. If this was anyone else's mom, the headlines would have been exploding with family attacks Giannis across every sports outlet. And after all that chaos, Giannis still showed maturity. He even threw John a thumbs up on his way off the floor. That's insane composure after being disrespected like that in front of the whole world. And just when you thought the drama might cool down, Shaq jumped right back into the fire. The very next night on Inside the NBA, Ernie calmly asked Shaq why he kept defending John's wild behavior. Instead of easing up, Shaq turned the volume all the way up, raising his voice, acting defensive like someone came for his own family. Chuck and Kenny tried to step in, smooth it over, but Shaq, he bulldozed the whole desk, talking over everybody. Classic Shaq move when he knows he's in the wrong but refuses to back down. Even Ernie looked fed up. Like, is Shaq really risking his rep defending a dad storming the court during a playoff game? That's a ridiculous hill to stand on.
I'm happy for him, and I'm happy for his son, and I'm happy that he's happy for his son. That's how you're supposed to feel. But coming to me and disrespecting me and cursing at me, I think is totally unacceptable. Totally unacceptable, okay? And they having a fan, which at the moment I thought he was a fan, but then I realized he was Tyrese's son, which I love. Tyrese, I think, is a great competitor. He was his dad, sorry. Coming in the floor and showing me his son a towel with his face. This is what we do. This is what we effing do. This the F we do. This. I feel like that's very, very disrespectful. You know.
And the internet? Man, they lit him up instantly. One fan wrote, "Not even sure what Shaq's point is. Haliburton's dad was wrong. Everybody knows that. What is Shaq even defending?" Another clapped back, "Shaq's ego too big. He not even defending Haliburton's dad. He just trying to check Giannis for showing emotion." But the coldest comment? Shaq loud and wrong as usual. If Giannis had kicked Haliburton's dad, y'all would be screaming he shouldn't have been on the court in the first place. He's a fan. Twitter, Reddit, YouTube, the internet went nuclear dragging Shaq. And then came the receipts. Folks dug up that old clip of Shaq admitting he punched 5 people across 6 different teams in his career. Fans weren't having it. How can he clown Giannis for being too emotional when he's out here with a record of swinging on dudes himself? Hypocrisy at its loudest. But Giannis, he didn't run to Instagram. He didn't hop on talk shows throwing shade. He just sat back, stayed patient, and then dropped one icy line. Being humble don't mean being silent. Boom! One sentence, and the whole NBA world felt it. Now fans are connecting the dots, saying Giannis might really be sending a message straight to the league. Y'all don't control me anymore. Stop protecting clowns. That's a heavyweight warning if I've ever heard one. And let's not forget, Shaq himself once said Giannis was better than he ever was at 24. That old clip, the internet never let him breathe since. The second the words left his mouth, Shaq tried to walk it back, stuttering like, "Do you need to see more though? I'm not saying he's better than me." Man, which one is it? Fast forward to now, Giannis is a finals MVP, 2-time league MVP, and one of the cleanest reputations in basketball. And Shaq? He's been looking salty ever since. Fans see it too. One even posted, "Shaq needs help. That take age like spoiled milk." Let's be honest, this beef ain't about Haliburton's dad anymore. This is jealousy, plain and simple. Shaq's been tossing shade for years. Meanwhile, Giannis kept his lips sealed, respectful, professional, focused on the game, always the bigger man, never chasing beef online. But now, he's clearly done swallowing his pride. This whole situation with Haliburton's dad, that wasn't just some fan moment. That felt personal, like Giannis finally had enough.
He's not supposed to be on the
talked to
court.
him. It don't
He's not
matter.
supposed to be on the court.
Giannis talked to him. Forget all that.
No, he was on the court.
So what?
You think he said something? He probably didn't know who his dad is.
Stop it. Giannis said something.
No,
to him.
because he's on the court in his face.
So what? Everybody
no,
on the
you can't
court.
do that.
So you think his dad was correct?
No, his dad was 100% wrong.
Giannis is wrong?
Bro, Giannis said something to him.
No, he did not.
Yes, he did.
No, he not.
Look, right there.
No, his dad is coming up to him. What is his dad doing on the court? His dad is not supposed to be on the court. You can yell as much as you want to. He's an idiot. If you think that's right, you're an idiot too.
I'm not the guy that points fingers because in my neighborhood, snitches get stitches. So I don't want to say something, for him to say to get fined or anything. But it's not respectful. I talked with him at the end.
And rewind to 2021. Remember when the Bucks snatched the title? Giannis casually dropped 50 in a close-out finals game, and instead of crowning him, the media called it luck. They said it was a fluke, or he only won because KD's foot was too big. What kind of disrespect is that? People been poking at him like he's soft for too long, but Giannis made it clear with that hood-coded line, "I don't want to be a snitch." That wasn't the media-trained version. That was the real Giannis talking. The same kid who hustled watches on the street, who shared a bed with all his brothers, who rotated one pair of sneakers with Thanasis because they couldn't afford another. That's the grind that built him. And now, he's tired of letting folks play with his name. Back in Greece, Giannis was battling poverty, racism, and the constant fear of deportation. And he still made it out, still became a superstar, still stayed respectful through every ounce of hate thrown his way. So when Giannis dropped that calm but deadly line, "If I speak on what happened, there'll be lawsuits," trust, he meant every single word. That wasn't some PR line. That was a straight-up warning. Whatever John Haliburton said or did out there, it wasn't just playful trolling, it was serious. Fans are already speculating that ugly slurs might have been tossed, and honestly, at this point, would anybody even be surprised? But here's the real jaw-dropper. No fines, no official league statement, no security changes, nothing. If that had been a random fan storming the hardwood and shoving a towel in a superstar's face, they'd be banned for life before the buzzer even sounded. But since it was a player's dad, suddenly the league acts blind like it didn't even happen. Now flip it around. Imagine if Giannis had reacted, he shoved John back, or even just raised his voice. Y'all think the media would have called him classy then? No chance. ESPN, Fox Sports, Bleacher Report. Every outlet would have dragged him nonstop, painting him as the villain. And this is exactly where Shaq's logic falls apart again. Shaq ain't new to throwing hands. He admitted it himself, said he punched 5 different dudes across 6 different teams. But now Giannis shows a little emotion and suddenly he's soft. Please, let's not forget. Shaq ran a whole season-long clown show on JaVale McGee. Had the man trending every week off pure disrespect. But when Chuck cracked a simple joke about Shaq's weight, suddenly that was too far. That's the blueprint. Shaq protects whoever feeds his ego. But if you even hint at threatening his legacy, he comes swinging. This whole fiasco just cracked something wide open. People are finally realizing how deep the NBA double standards run. Giannis gets clowned for being too quiet. Ja gets roasted for being too wild. Steph gets dragged for being confident. LeBron gets bashed for being calculated. But Haliburton's dad, dude storms the court like a toddler in a casino, and somehow he gets a pass? Make it make sense. Passion? Nah, that's not passion. That's chaos dressed up as celebration. And just when you'd think the dust would finally settle, the drama keeps breathing. Giannis versus Shaq versus Haliburton's family refuses to die down. And the NBA staying silent is only making the flames spread hotter, which is why this might be the very moment the league has to rethink player safety and court boundaries. Because after the internet cooked him alive, John Haliburton finally dropped his public apology. He said, "I sincerely apologize to Giannis, the Milwaukee Bucks, and the Pacers organization for my actions following tonight's game. This was not a good reflection on our sport or my son, and I will not make that mistake again." Sounds polished, right? But fans weren't buying it. They reminded everyone how this man stormed the floor like he was the 13th man off the bench, shoved a towel in Giannis's face with his son's picture, allegedly cursed him out on live TV, and then thought a quick "oops, my bad" would smooth it over? Nah, that wasn't real remorse. That was PR spin straight out of the Pacers playbook. Let's keep it all the way real. The only reason John Haliburton apologized is because the Pacers told him he was done showing up, not just at home games, all games, home and away. He's officially iced out. So was that apology heartfelt or just saving face? Fans already made up their minds. This whole mess ripped the mask off how soft the league's gotten with court security. Think about it. If a random fan had stormed the floor like that, they'd be tackled, cuffed up, and banned from every NBA arena in America for life. But since it was a player's dad, he gets a press release apology and a so-called voluntary break. That's not accountability. That's a weak slap on the wrist. And here's the danger. If the NBA brushes this off like it's nothing, what happens when the next overhyped parent storms the court? What if it actually turns physical next time? This ain't about passion. It's about protection. This isn't even about Giannis anymore. It's about setting a precedent, because the next time a fan crosses that line, you know what they'll say. Well, Haliburton's dad did worse and walked away clean. That's the blueprint being set right now. And let's keep it a buck. Shaq's brand, it's not hitting like it used to. He's become the goofy uncle of NBA media. People still rock with him, but this saga exposed a whole different side. The side that defends straight-up disrespect, if it props up his own narrative. Meanwhile, Giannis staying tight-lipped only fueled the internet detectives. Ever since he said he wasn't going to spill details, fans been connecting dots on their own. Rumors flying heavy. Some saying a slur might have been dropped, which lines up with that hood-coded line Giannis threw out. Others claiming the Bucks wanted to press charges, but Giannis told them to let it slide. Nothing confirmed, but with the NBA staying dead silent, these theories are only going to spread louder. This might actually force the league to make changes. New rules for where player families can sit, stricter limits on post-game behavior, real punishments for anyone, fan or family, who crosses that court line. Because if the NBA keeps dragging its feet, the message is clear. Yeah, you can run up on an MVP and talk crazy. You'll be fine. And Giannis, he's watching it all. Let's run it back. Giannis just lost a do-or-die playoff game. He's heated, standing alone, when out of nowhere, Haliburton's dad storms the court, mocks him with a towel, maybe even curses him out. Giannis didn't swing, didn't scream, just stood tall and kept it cool still, but dropped the signal. I'm not the one. Shaq backed the wrong man and doubled down, even when fans torched him. Tyrese, he kept it honest, said his dad crossed the line. The Pacers banned him from every game, but the NBA? Crickets, acting like if they ignore it long enough, it'll disappear. But it won't, because Giannis voiced what every real one was thinking. This was disrespectful. I come from the hood. I don't want to snitch it, but don't push me. And that line, that made the whole league sit up straight. If you felt this breakdown, smash that like button, drop a comment, hit subscribe, and share this with someone who needs the truth. Appreciate you for riding with me. See you on the next one.